You know, a lot of people, especially on Facebook, uh, they attack my stance on a lot of issues, and particularly black issues. And they say, why is it that you don't talk about white people the way in which you talk about and point out the issues that black people are having, or the behaviors of black people? And my simple response is, I'm not white. I'm concerned about how, and this is the reason why I take the position that I take, is because I have black children, black daughters, black sons, and I'm raising them in a society, even though it's set apart, they're still one day are going to go out in the world as they get older, and they're going to need to understand how to conduct themselves. And a lot of people don't like my stance because I point out the utter buffoonery that has taken place over the last 10 years. Now, mind you, I'm out. I live in a small rural town, even regionally. I don't see a lot of the buffoonery that you would see in the major cities. Seldom do we go out. And I'm in the nearest major city, Paducah, Kentucky, right? It's a minor city. And I don't see transsexuals walking around. We don't see homosexuals walking around. Whether black or white, we don't see a lot of people with their pants sagging. We don't see that. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I be out and about. We don't see that kind of behavior out here. Whether or not it's tolerated or not, it's a totally different issue. But you got to understand something. The moral decline, and I understand white supremacy. I understand white racism. It happens. It's always been with us. It's always going to be with us. At this point in time in history, the fair skin or white people are the ruling class in society. This is just a fact. There was a time in history where black people were the ruling class in society, whether you go back to Mesopotamia or ancient Kemet or Egypt. We ruled, but that time is over. And unfortunately, we're in a state with regardless of how we got here, the behaviors of people and the moral decline is very clear. We see now black women twerking all over the place. Recently in Lululemon, they go grown black women go into a store and start twerking and splitting all over the place. And the white people, they're looking at it like, what the hell? You see black men, young black men, robbing and shooting and stealing. Nobody talks about the black on black crime that's happening in Chicago or St. Louis or Memphis. They're killing one another at an unprecedented rate. Who do you think is the biggest pariahs on black society when it comes to murders? Do you think it's cops, or do you think it's young black people or black on black crime? See, this is why a lot of people, professionals, people that don't want to be in that environment, they're moving out of the major cities and they're moving into rural white areas because they know that's not going to be tolerated here. See, that kind of behavior, that shit ain't going to be tolerated out here. They're not going to they're going to beat the shit out of you and lock you up real quick out here if you act like a buffoon. It's gotten so bad. Look at the statistics. Don't believe what I'm saying. Look at the statistics of what's happening when it comes to... Now, I understand why it's taking place. I understand the history behind it. I come from a broken family where wasn't raised by my father. Mother was on drugs, ghetto, foster care. Hey, not everybody's going to be able to make of themselves a better life for themselves and their children. Not a lot of people are not going to break the generational curses. I get it. I understand it. However, the problem that we're having now is that everybody is being labeled. And I understand it. Is it right? It is the reality of the situation in which we live in. And so I have to teach my sons and daughters how to conduct themselves, how to interact in society so that they're not automatically labeled as these individuals, these degenerates. Now, it has to come to a point in time where we have to accept personal accountability and responsibility for our actions. And rather than saying and going the accountability route, we justify this buffoonery and the chicanery. We justify this degeneracy. And a lot of people, they're perpetuating it by how they raise their children. They're perpetuating it by how they conduct themselves in society. They perpetuate it by not pointing out and talking about this stuff. And then people like me get up on here, point it out, and call it for what it is. And then people like me are labeled, I hate black people. When I hate the buffoonery that's taking place, because there are better options. There are better choices, but people make the personal choice and decision to go out and rob people. I was watching videos of this young man get in the back of overdrive and this lady, and she's just trying to make a living. She's just trying to make some extra money, get by, survive, white lady, and this man murdered her. And she was like, it was so heartbreaking. She was like, why are you doing this? What's going on? Why are you doing this? Murdered her. He's going away for life. And we're at the point in time where it's just so bad and the situation is so bad that these people need to be locked up. They're a menace to society. They're pariahs to society. And if they can't help, they can't be saved, because only a remnant is going to be saved. Only a remnant is going to hear the truth and make a choice and decision to make a different or choose a different path in life. So we have to understand what's going on and how to go about raising our sons and our daughters so that they can recognize what's going on and not perpetuate that behavior, so that when they encounter a cop or another person or anything like that, they know how to properly behave themselves and present themselves. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000,000 times. Every time I go out into society with my family, we get compliments. Every single time we get compliments. And it's amazing when we see other black people, where particularly you look at their children, they look ratchet, they look nasty. I mean, they're walking around with spandex and stuff. I mean, you know, the fake eyes and the fake nails and the gory, it's disgusting. And they look at us with envy and jealousy and hatred and all. I could just see it. I'm a man of discernment. I'm a man of discernment. And I can clearly see it in their spirit. I'm all about solutions. And the solution is due to the simple fact that a lot of these people are just too far gone and can't and will not hear the truth, will not make the choice and decision to break those generational curses, and they're going to go down the same path and experience the same thing that these other people are experiencing. All the lewdness and debauchery and the murders. I'll tell you, these young cats, they are just totally out of control today. We have a vermin problem. And it's amazing how the rats are exterminating the other rats. I know it's not a popular opinion, a viewpoint, but you best believe that I'm part of the solution and not the problem.